Okay, third time's the charm, right? Doing full display capture, vibe coding session, just basically doing what I was already doing, which is building some apps and website updates and all sorts of things while listening to a live generated, vibing out, AI generated playlist of music, which is what this is. But hopefully I'm able to narrate my thought process, answer any questions if anyone happens to watch this first AI Playground stream being shouted into the ether. And yeah, just chilling on the couch. Got Outdoor Boys on the YouTube muted, and I'm trying to currently update this EMDR web app, which is a therapy tool where clients watch this ball or light bar to help reprocess trauma. It's a technique that I was trained in. I use it a ton in person, and this is a tool I built for doing telehealth. And the two ways that I normally would use it with a client is that I either screen share and they watch as I control it, or I send them a link and I just have them start and stop it in sync with me. But now I have built this suite of web apps, and this website, all vibe coded, has an SQL database, connected to Stripe, full functionality. And if you subscribe, which will be like super low price, you get access to the web apps I built. And these all work. You can mess with them, go back to the dashboard. But this EMDR suite that I'm trying to build, what I need it to do is when you click this button here, share, you get a link. And then if you copy that link and then open it up in another browser, in theory, if somebody is watching, they should be synchronized. And as we can see, they are not. Let's do a hard refresh. So good news and bad news. I fixed one of the bugs I was dealing with before I went live, but as you can see, it doesn't update. But I guarantee you, what it should do is find the state that this is in. It's interesting too, if you hard refresh, the start watching button resets. But it's not synced. It's just, if I hard refresh, it syncs in that moment, which is fine in terms of functionality, but yeah, it should be totally synced. So what we're gonna do now is refresh this, so let's pause this, hop in cursor, and switch to plan mode, and we're gonna use model, this is GPT 5.1. One of the main things when you're vibe coding, that's like one of the advantages, I guess, of vibe coding or using cursor in particular, or something similar to it, is being able to switch through models on the fly while they all can examine your code base. So I have my code base over here for the website, at least the testing environment one, and I can switch from agent mode, plan mode, or ask mode. Most of the work is done in agent. Some of the planning is done, well, most of the planning is done in plan, but then like initial conceptualization stuff or troubleshooting, general troubleshooting, I might switch to ask mode, and then you can switch between all the different models. And because they have different strengths, and you kind of learn what they are as you play with it. Like Gemini, for example, is, so far it's been consistently for me the best at interpreting my vision at the beginning and creating the most powerful front end or UI design out of the box. And then, you know, when we get into back end or more nitty-gritty coding, I found other models have been more helpful. That's part of what I've been examining right now. So what I want to do now is just have, actually, can we go to ask mode? Grok code. I'm just going to say audit the website, EMDR web app specifically, and the session and related files to see if you can find out why the session, the viewer session, only syncs when hard refreshed. the last fix attempt did fix it so that when it does sync this way, it works completely normal as intended. It just doesn't continuously sync. So if you change settings or stop as the host, you have to hard refresh the viewer in order to sync state. Let's see. Keep recent update requests in mind to have a broader contextual understanding of where we are at and trying to achieve. If you come up with something you think is clearly the issue and or can fix it, output as a plan. That's right, there's an image contained in a previous prompt with image understanding in it, so Grok isn't going to want to do it because it's not included. The Grok features aren't fully there yet, but they probably will be soon. So what we'll do instead is we'll have Sonnet take a look, and we'll actually switch it into plan mode. And then I'm just going to, yeah, right here, resubmit the same thing. Let's see what Sonnet has to say. I hate that without a second monitor yet. Like, make sure I'm on the right scene. My mic's not muted, no other silly strange issues. I have to actually open this up. Or even see the chat. I could pop that out easily, but... Actually, let's do that while... Is there a way to make this always on top? That's a shame. Where is that chat window? That's still only while I'm in here. If I cover this up, at least that way I don't have to see. You guys don't have to see the endless loop. All right. It thinks that it found a solution. Needed cache busting. Alright. Switch to agent mode. Implement this latest fix. Now it's gonna go through, I mean, it only has to go through one, possibly two files. Actually, on that plan, I think it was more than that, but not a lot. Versus like if I was doing like a whole website overhaul, full stack or something, they would make a lot of changes to all this. Which like you would never do, I would imagine, as a in a traditional development environment. Okay, let me get to my file hosting real quick. No, it's not done yet. What's great about agent mode that's a game changer is contextual awareness, multiple step tasks. Like it can go and go and go, and there's ways to safeguard against it derailing itself or making mistakes. Then it often won't, but like even if you're using human dev team, you'd run into tons of bugs and have to debug and blah blah blah. So like you're gonna have what I would imagine is something similar, because like right here I'm debugging, but switching models, especially depending on what the nature of the bug is, can help so much. So it just wrote 9 file changes, added 475 lines of code to this file, took away 3 and added 10 in this file, so on and so forth. But now I'm gonna go ahead and push this to the website. So I'm just copying the necessary files from my local environment to the website files in the file manager. I use DreamHost, recommended to me by a friend who used to work there. I've been really happy with it. And as DreamHost wraps it up, we'll go back here, time for next test. So let's go ahead and hard refresh here. I should just go straight to dev mode and do it, because sometimes it doesn't seem like it does it with the Control F5, and then when I do it in dev mode, it works for some reason. So we just need this to be a blank page for now. Actually, no, I want to reopen the browser. So we'll go here, make sure we refresh here, create a link, copy link. Oh my god. Does it work? I think it finally works. Oh, I just realized, I wonder if that does anything. I need to check on something real quick. Yay, it works. Nice job. Though I realize the one setting that shouldn't sync is probably full screen, right? I wouldn't want to be toggling my client in or out of full screen, because they will either be in and want to stay in full screen or have their window set up in some way comfortable, preferable to them. As it is currently built, is this an issue? If so, come up with a plan to resolve it. What happens if I go back to dashboard? It becomes a dead session. Okay, so that's good. That's the second thing that we should add in the fix here. Resolve it. The second thing, I just tested going back to dashboard on the host app, and it definitely disconnected so that the viewer's session just idles indefinitely. This is good that it is disconnected, but there should be some visible box that pops up that says host session has ended. That also locks the screen completely, other than if they need to get out of full screen. Actually, locks the screen and has a close tab button option. I'm gonna have Gemini do this so that it all UI is website coherent and site brand style design coherent and consistent. for users to close it. Which closes the tab, and if it of a browser they are on, and if they are on, and if it is the only page open, closes the browser, closes it still, whether desktop or mobile. Okay, so that should fix that. Third thing, when a session viewer loads up a session, I think it's synced already whether they click start watching or not. Maybe before they click start watching, it should be a locked image of the app that is darkened and softly blurred and does not do anything no matter what the host is doing. But once they click start watching, bingo, the app syncs and works. Actually, I'm gonna have this plan this in Sonnet 4.5. Okay, while this runs, I'm gonna go use the restroom. So I gotta pee. Can I hide a whole group of stuff? Boom. So I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna stay off mic for, or off cam for a minute. Yeah, this all looks good to me. Implement the fixes you just wrote. Boom. Okay. Let us update this. What's sweet is if this all goes in without a hitch, we'll be done working on this app for now. I have so many like projects in various states of functionality, but it's crucial that I get this one to operate perfectly because this is the highest value app. This is the main draw of my entire little suite. Okay. Now, close the old one. I just realized I need to force reload. I just had like a totally unrelated thought. Something I might want to fix. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. I can't. Mint shot out of my mouth. I can't tell if ooh, the watermark. That audio bug, I think, might just be because I'm playing it twice. So there's a bug right there we gotta fix. This watermark should always be bottom left for session mode. Because otherwise, in this diagonal mode, it goes into the... It's so cool. Oh my god, this is gonna make my life so much easier. My clients. I just need to test, make sure that even with very fast polling, yeah, we're good. And then when I go back to dashboard, interesting. So we have a bug there. Let's go back to cursor. A couple fixes, bugs. One, the watermark for built by Bright Eyed Therapy, all the text there, should always be at the bottom left corner or session views. Otherwise, let's say currently it moves to the bottom right, which makes it so the light bar crosses over the text during diagonal MDR, which is distracting for the client. Understand this issue and resolve, and that's it, find a fix. And then two, you fixed the, let's see, no, it doesn't need to know that. It doesn't need a pat on the back. How do I describe this? After disconnecting as the session, oh, I do need to test if I go back in here, am I in the same one? If I click this, am I in the same one? Nope, it generates a completely new one. And then if I copy that link, so it caches the old session. I just caught another bug. Good to know. Okay, so we can close this, minimize. As for disconnecting as the host, there's no change on the session viewer. side, it just idles at its current state. However, I created a new session as the host and shared the new link, and using the same browser I was using to test the aforementioned viewer session functionality, it loaded the old idling session. Some kind of session caching, not sure, but you should be able to just send a client a new link for any reason after starting a new session. And even if they are in the same original browsing window or any other browser or window, loads the correct new session. Understand the issues here, come up with a plan that resolves it. All right, Sonnet, get to it. Get to it, get to it. Hopefully that fixes that. The next thing that I want to do is for my Genogram Genie, where you can build out family trees with I just realized a bug I need to fix in this. Sorry, my brain just goes. When this is all filled out, you can have all this great visual data for people's family, the relationship dynamics and stuff. It's basically a family tree that shows trauma, addiction, mental health, disability, nature of relationships from cut off, close, enmeshed, abusive, neglectful, non-existent, and it's all displayed visually. It's got the key and everything, but what I want to do is so you can sit and build this live with your client by asking them questions, which I like to do because I think you get interesting information, but I want to create some kind of assessment where basically the client can just fill out the assessment on their own and then submit it to you, you know, either within this app somehow or email you, or just save as a text file, and the text file contains some kind of coded instructions, like almost like a save file or something that you can just load into here, and it just is already like built out basically. And I think I have a solution to it, to like a good way to do it conceptually. But let's see if this fixed our issues. Oh, that was just a plan. We need to go to agent mode. Let's just double check this plan. Okay, that's an easy fix. Oh, we have gotten away from my music. Start it over. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Force token change. I understand. Implement the most recent fixes you just planned. Ooh. Well, that goes. Go back to here. I think one thing that I want to add to all three of these apps, and any apps, particularly while I'm in this early access beta phase, is like a little feature request and bug report button, maybe next to dashboard. Yeah, that's probably the spot for it, which will automatically create a email draft on my website the same way they do if they like click contact, except for it'll have slightly different fields and it'll be pre-filled out. Like if they click feature request and they're in the EMDR app, that'll say feature request EMDR app as the subject, auto-filled, and then they can write out the idea so that people can do feature requests and then have a similar thing for bug reporting. Just, you know, describe what happened, just take a screenshot if you want to. And then I think once these three, I need to give this, was this broken? Something broke the trauma timeline app. We'll have to fix that. I'm just gonna say, I just noticed I couldn't load the trauma timeline app on my website from whenever I last pushed an update. Check current code base for any issues that may be causing this. Do not make meaningful changes to this app. Just find out why it's not loading, if there is a clear reason why, and fix. And we're just going to leave it in agent mode. That should be simple. It shouldn't need to plan. It really is important though that you do a plan before implementation. I find that because it just has this intentionality of planning behind it, and that's its only thing. I mean, I actually would have to test this. It's sort of anecdotal that this is a better idea now that I think about it. It seems like I get better, like fully realized plans when I don't have it planned during agent mode, and instead have it like switch to plan mode. Certainly if you're switching between models, there's a more obvious use case there, but let's try. I'm gonna see if I hard reload this. Yeah, no, this one's just dead. That's what I thought it might be. Okay. So there's no issue in the code, just something didn't get updated correctly. Server side. So what I'm gonna do is do a full server update. While this does this, I actually need to fix something in my YouTube studio settings. I have to wait for this to upload before I can unhide my screen. Oh, interesting, okay. Okay. Should be able to see me again, yep. Let's go ahead and do the old hard refresh. We'll test that in a second. Aha! Fix it. Everything else works, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's get a shareable link. And then I don't care about that notification, but I shouldn't be signed into Steam. See if I'm like already running it. Does it sync? Sure does. That's nice. I think we may have solved this issue. Let's go ahead and make this white bar. That should do nothing. That does nothing. Okay. And then if I stop sharing, interesting. It's still watching the same session. I'm not sharing, so this is just inaccurate. If I start sharing, the same thing. Nope, it's a new session, so we can at least test this. Yay! So I stop sharing, so I go back to the dashboard. Launch a new one, start sharing, copy the link, we'll know if it's correct because it will be yellow. Cool. So we fixed one of the issues. Okay. Fixed the trauma timeline was server file side. Let's see, your fix also fixed. For some reason I'm like, please let like your mic not be muted. Okay. Your fix also fixed it so you can create a new session and the viewer can just use the new link right away, even on the same browser, and it works great. Let's see, however, still have, and we're gonna switch models now because this one seems to have been hitting a wall on this one thing. So what we're gonna use Gemini 3 and see how it does. However, still have an issue where when the session is ended by the host or they otherwise, whether manually with the stop sharing button or by going back to dashboard or closing their browser, it still doesn't change what the session viewer displays. It should show the disconnection when right now it just still says connected, even though that session is for sure gone, unless the host somehow had the exact, even then that's not going to matter. Still says connected, even though the host will never return to it. Once a session is ended, the EMDR app needs to correctly reflect disconnected status and show the pop-up to close that was discussed in a recent previous plan. Audit the code base, audit the last 10 interactions between us to get a sense of where we were, where we are, and where we still need to go. Then figure out how to fix this one issue. And output a clear and effective plan to do so without breaking anything else. Don't know if I need to say that, but we're going to. Okay. Now while it's coming out with that plan, I want to, I don't really like the color of that how to use thing. Oh, plan's ready. Is this the same file? No. Oh, is this the file? Okay. Agent mode, we're gonna go back to Sonnet for the actual coding. Implement the most recent plan found in tool.plan.md. Have contextual awareness of what the input that generated this plan as well. Execute the plan perfectly. Not necessary to describe it exactly that way, but that's the beauty of Vibecoding is just got to get close enough. You are limited as an AI developer or AI user by your ability to conceptualize an idea, a vision, a plan, whatever, ultimately a prompt, and articulate it. Things like vocabulary and your ability to explain yourself actually matter, which is crazy. Something that I took unnecessarily seriously at the time when I was in high school and college. So I was briefly even an English major. Wanted to be a writer. But now it's suddenly returning dividends. Okay. Time to come back on camera. Well, I update the server files. Almost done. Okay. Go ahead and do a refresh. See that flash? Okay, this is lower priority, this final thing. 9 times out of 10 or more, probably way more, clients will just really close it. This doesn't matter. So we'll fix that connection issue. But there was another issue I found. Still hasn't fixed the disconnection display issue. Nothing changed functionally that I can see. However, I did realize that while running the app, the session viewer side flickers every 1 second, which I'm guessing is related to polling, but because EMDR is such a non-distraction requiring visual-based intervention, I can't have this happening. If the sync, if it pulls and the sync, let me think about how I want to explain this. If it pulls and the viewer and host are synced, it doesn't need to make any changes whatsoever. So hopefully somehow we can resolve this flickering, whatever it is. Shows the EMDR screen in a slightly different state. In this test, I had the light bar running, and it would occasionally flicker 2 in milliseconds. Briefly show the light bar still and centered. Which is what makes me, let's see, because it happens, because it happens what seems like every 1 second, I intuited that it is related to polling, but I'm not sure. Understand my problem, then evaluate the code and determine the best way to fix this. Write the plan. It's weird, I have this dev force trial expire button, but it doesn't actually do anything. Or at least it did. Oops, cursor's what we want. Hey, is it done? It looks like it's still working. Awesome. Implement the flicker fix. Okay, we're getting a little too weird here. What are we listening to? That's just the outro of the one where I crank the weirdness way up. I want to go to Grok Imagine and then give it this screenshot. Cursor UI turns into matrix symbols where it looks like the user is coding in the matrix. Okay. While that's rendering, we need to update the files on the server again. This is what I made, but I'm not happy with this one. All the text in the screen starts changing character by character rapidly into matrix symbols until the entire screen is matrix symbols, and the symbols begin scrolling in vertical rows while the camera zooms in. Let's see what that does. Okay. Let me make sure server's updated now. Okay. Not a fan of this one. Oops. got lost what I was doing. Oh, there's no flicker. I think I fixed it. Yes. It's fixed. The app is fully functional now with the shared link viewer function. Now I just have to get the disconnect update. But that, yeah, that's like a non-issue in terms of functionality. Ugh. So what I just did was like the final stages of debugging for my EMDR web app. Showed a little bit of the workflow process and doing so on Cursor. Oh, didn't see my latest Imagine creation. Didn't do what I wanted, but it's just weird and cool. Just wondering what the sound was it generated. What if I do while programming and Cursor, blue screen error appears that says you got grokked. Humorous blue screen meme. We'll see what that makes. But yeah, again, this whole software as a service thing I'm building of these clinical tools for psychotherapists in the form of web apps, all lightweight HTML web apps. The entire website, front end, back end, full stack was all vibe coded. The apps were all vibe coded. All the integration was vibe coded. I don't know programming language, but I'm learning like meta level programming stuff. That's not like actually me getting into the code, but me understanding the broader ways that these things interact and how to get the agents to do what I want. That's what I feel like I'm learning. And anyone who can think in systems or just generally has a knack for this kind of stuff could easily get into this and start building whatever you want. And again, you're going to be primarily limited by one, your own creativity, and this is the whole thing about AI killing creativity. I don't buy it. I just think it shifts the role and responsibility of where you're implementing creative energy to meta or higher levels. Your ability to conceptualize what it is you want to do, and then your ability to articulate it in your language, because basically working with AI, you're essentially, when you're writing a prompt, you are programming with English. So if you can explain your ideas coherently and logically in a way that the LLMs can understand or Cursor can understand, you can accomplish amazing things. Hopefully this was useful. I was going to do a lot more. I was going to build like a bunch of stuff, like test some new ideas today, but that took longer than I thought it was going to take. Still, like considering the debugging process, like I would have to send that down to like whatever junior dev was responsible for that app, or who knows like how that would work. I've never been in that kind of environment, but in a traditional development environment, this would have been so much more cumbersome. And I can just, whatever the issues the AI creates, I can resolve with the AI. I have yet to run into something where I can't. They're getting too smart, and having multimodal ability with Cursor and agentic workflows solves like a lot of that to me. As long as you're smart enough, I guess, to understand how to direct, your agents and how to prompt. Yeah, if you have any questions about any part of this, feel free to reach out to me. You can go to roboshamanai.com to contact me through there, or look at services that I offer, either one-on-one or ready, built for you, commission type work. from web design, multimedia graphics and asset design, videos, whatever. I think I have pretty robust capabilities in terms of multimedia design, software development, web design, and general AI power use as both, in a digital environment, or like even using AI to help you enhance your personal life. Using systems thinking combined with the psychotherapist's understanding of psychology, and sort of translating the human psychology to the AI psychology. That's the space that I live in, and where I feel I have expertise and can offer whatever I can that may be helpful. But I really just want to help people first and foremost. So if you have any specific questions, I am happy to answer them, no matter what they are, if I see it. So yeah, thanks for hanging out or watching the VOD if you did. There will be more AI Playground, just vibing out development streams coming. I will have some more concise and well edited, or easy to digest, shorter form how-to videos and tutorials. They'll also have specific things. And then I'll also I'm debating doing a newsletter and a podcast related to AI development, not developing with AI, though that is part of it, but actual AI development, ethics at the micro level, macro level, etc., etc. So you can stay tuned for all that. Appreciate you. Till next time. See ya.